there, and welcome! Today we're going to learn one of the most important skills every pianist and musician needs to know: how to read notes on the grand staff. If you're just starting out, don't worry, I'll walk you through everything step by step. Let's start with the big picture, the grand staff. The grand staff is made up of two separate staffs. Each staff has 5 horizontal lines and 4 spaces in between those lines. That means every staff has 9 spots total where notes can be written. 5 lines, 4 spaces. The top staff uses the treble clef, which kind of looks like a fancy G. The bottom staff uses the bass clef, which looks more like a backward C with 2 dots or a slanted frowny face. When we put the treble clef and bass clef together, connected by a vertical bracket or brace on the left, we call that the grand staff. Pianists use both clefs at the same time. Your left hand usually plays the notes written in the bass clef, and your right hand plays the notes written in the treble clef. Now let's zoom in on the treble clef. As I said, it has 5 lines and 4 spaces. The lines on the treble clef staff are E, G, B, D, and F. You can remember them using a little rhyme. Every good boy does fine. Now, the spaces in the treble clef spell a word you already know. Face, from bottom to top, F-A-C-E. So, if you can see a note on the bottom of the treble clef, it's an F. If it's at the top space, it's an E. Once you know the lines and spaces, you can figure out any note in the treble clef. Now let's take a look at the bass clef, which sits below the treble clef on the grand staff. Just like the treble clef, the bass clef has 5 lines and 4 spaces, and again we count from bottom to top. The lines on the bass clef staff are G, B, D, F, and A. Here's a fun phrase to help you remember that. Good boys do fine always. And the spaces on the bass clef are A, C, E, G. We can think of it as all cows eat grass. So, for example, if you see a note on the top line of the bass clef, that's an A. If you see a note in the second space, that's a C. Now, you might be wondering, how do these notes connect to the piano keyboard? Great question. Here's one super important note that helps us bridge the treble and bass clefs, and that's middle C. Middle C isn't on either staff. It sits on a little line in between called a ledger line. You'll see it written just below the treble clef and just above the bass clef. On the piano, middle C is right to the center of your keyboard. Your right hand usually starts just above it, and your left hand starts just below it. You did great today. Learning the grand staff is a huge step in reading music, and once you get the hang of it, it opens up a whole world of playing piano. Remember, it takes practice and repetition, but you'll be reading notes like a pro in no time. Thanks for watching. Happy practicing!